Thank you, Jen. Alongside Carlo Koliakovo, Frankie Corrado, and our hockey insider Darren Dreger. And a couple of themes continued for the Canadiens tonight. Their ability to win on the road and the fact that they keep responding following losses. They have yet to lose back-to-back games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Frankie, they spent much of Game 1 trailing. Then they flipped the script in Game 2 en route to a huge win in Buffalo.
There was a real hunger for the Montreal Canadiens in this game. It started early, and this was a puck possession masterclass for them. They got right after the Buffalo Sabres and completely flipped the script from what we saw in Game 1, where it's too hard to have to play from behind against Buffalo, especially if you're going to make mistakes. And Montreal, they played a clean game. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they capitalized on their chances. And in Game 1, we saw Montreal feed into the Buffalo Sabres game plan, and in this game, it was Buffalo making some mistakes early and Montreal taking full advantage of it. And if you think of what Buffalo wants to do, they have a lot of skill. They have defensemen that want to get up in the play. They want to have the puck. Montreal had the puck. Buffalo couldn't get to their game plan. It was exactly what the Canadiens needed to do, and they did it.
You know, Frankie, throughout the playoffs, everyone talks about momentum. Does it carry over from game to game? And coming out of Game 1, a lot of people said, you know, oh, Montreal can't play with the speed of Buffalo. Buffalo's too big for them. Well, credit the Montreal Canadiens coaches. They didn't panic. They do what they did. They've done what they've done all series, all first round, even all season, where they just calmed things down with the group. They went in, they reset, they refocused, and they came out with a different mindset. And they focused on playing their own game. And when they play their own game, they're really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Marty St. Louis talked about that right after Game 1. He said, look, I have to rewatch the game. We'll make adjustments. So, you know, they poured over the video, and they prepared their team for Game 2 tonight. So going into Game 3, it's going to be easier video sessions. I mean, they'll pay attention to the details. But we know that there was a higher level of urgency from Montreal's standpoint in this game. And as Frankie said, it was also much cleaner.
And another big game for Alex Newhook, who makes it 3-0 on his second goal of the night, but the play begins 20 feet away, and it's your opportunity to give some love to a fellow defenseman.
Yeah, Noah Dobson makes the play of the game for me because, you know, it's a textbook defensive play in the playoffs where you tell defensemen to sacrifice and take a hit to make a play. Well, did he ever take a hit to make a play on this one? Because he goes back. This is on the penalty kill. He knows their guy's coming in on him. He sacrifices his body, makes a strong play, and allows Montreal to go up the ice right at the end of the penalty kill. And Jake Evans with an unbelievable pass to Newhook, who uses his incredible speed to beat the defenseman, already feeling pretty good about themselves for scoring the first goal in the game, and scores a big one at a big time in the game. It was 2-0, and the all-important next goal in that game was 3-0 for Montreal. And it felt like that was what allowed Montreal to continue to play the rest of the game the way they wanted to play. So, hell of a play by Dobson on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Newhook is obviously feeling it right now. And I wonder if it just stems from his heroics in Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, we know that offensive players, forwards especially, I mean, when you get a taste of that success, it can breed into the next game, into the next series. And this was a go-ahead goal scored by Alex Newhook. Below the goal line in Game 7, everything on the line. And yeah, it's a bit lucky, but it goes in the net. It's a huge switch and push for the Montreal Canadiens at that point, and it's carried over into round 2. So we'll see what's left. Probably a lot, frankly, from Alex Newhook, but probably Buffalo is looking a little closer at him now as well.
And Alex Newhook is an important player for this team for a couple reasons. First of all, he's a Stanley Cup champion. He brings valuable experience to a young group that is going through this whole thing, not for the first time, but they're still relatively fresh. That's the first thing. The second thing, we could all sit here and go through who the top 4 forwards are on the Montreal Canadiens. It's Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, Slavkovsky. Who's the next best forward? You could make a very good point that it's Alex Newhook. He's that next tier of forward, so it's really important that he contributes. And to Dreg's and Carlo's point, he absolutely has contributed in a big way.
You know, the final score makes it look pretty one-sided. There were moments in this game, though, that Buffalo was pushing, and there were some timely saves by Jakub Dobes that helped the Canadiens earn a win in Game 2. Speaking of which, let's hear now from the Canadiens goaltender, who's new on SC. Here's Jakub Dobes.
Good. I feel like we play with more fire and with more effort, and I feel like we are getting used to the series. Yeah, so we are going to keep improving, and excited to go back home.
So they tried to get under your skin a little bit in the second period. Just how much fun do you have with that? Seems you.
No, I mean, I don't think so. Like, I do my stuff. I don't really focus on what they are saying or anything like that. So personally, I didn't notice anything crazy tonight.
How good was Carrier tonight?
Yeah, everyone was good. My Ds were really solid today, so thankful for them. And yeah, hopefully we'll play together as a team and defensively good on Sunday. Yeah. So.
You talked about your Ds. Did you feel tonight it was more easy for you to track the puck? There were maybe less traffic in front of the net?
Yeah, I need to look at it. I trust my Ds. Definitely, we improved some stuff from the last game, but yeah, today was good.
Fewer rush chances. Last time the guys were talking too many rush chances. Do you feel that they got rid of?
Yeah. I mean, they are such a skilled team, and they have so much talent on that team. So limiting them in a space and in rushes always helps. And yeah, I feel like we improved a lot from the game one, from myself, the team, and we are looking to stay hungry and repeat the same thing on Sunday.
Looking at the Heat.
Well, it was Nick Suzuki adding the empty netter, his third goal of the playoffs so far, and the Canadiens captain is new on SC.
No, there wasn't too many adjustments. Just continue to play our game. I think, trusting the forecheck. Playing man-on-man against them can be tough, but I thought all the guys did a great job of, managing it and making plays, and I thought it was a great night for everyone.
You've been here a lot, as a team, but you still make the plays. So what does it say about the resilience of your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, guys are willing to make a play, take a hit to make a play. On the News goal, Dobber gets blown up behind the net, but still gets the puck to Jake for the quick kind of 2-on-2, and those are super important plays, and guys are playing really hard for each other.
What do you say about what Newhook brought for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was great right from the start. He seemed after that goal just continue to dominate the whole game, and big on the PK. Their line generated a lot, 5-on-5 as well, so. Big effort from those guys.
What makes Evan so easy to play with?
I think he's just super smart. Knows knows his role, knows what he's doing out there for his teammates. Trying to get his guys and the puck and going winning dirty areas. So he's an easy guy to play with for sure.
Dobson fiery guy.
Well, it's a huge night for Alex Newhook with a pair of goals. He is now at the podium speaking to the media.
Question is for Alex. Saw a video of you doing the lineup read. Looked pretty fired up. Just what made you ready to put in the type of performance that you put in tonight?
Yeah, I think as a group we knew we needed a big effort tonight. A bounce back, a bounce forward game. And yeah, when you get the lineup read, you just try to supply some energy there early, and just tried to carry that into the game. And I think throughout the lineup, a lot of good games. I think we were able to roll through our lines and deliver a pretty solid effort, and it was a pretty big game here in Game 2.
Question for you, Alex. You were not used to play with Jake Evans on your line. How do you feel the chemistry start going, and it was pretty successful tonight? Why it was successful between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jake's a great player. He plays the right way, on both sides of the puck, and he's pretty predictable. I think I've played with him a little bit throughout my time here, and I think we always play pretty well together. So it's fun. We play together on the kill too, and I think we found some chemistry here. So just got to keep that rolling.
What a couple of days it's been for Alex Newhook. Earlier, we heard from Jakub Dobes. I liked how he was playing down the hole. I'm not actually hearing what they're saying to me because there's a lot of conversations happening on the ice. He's letting his play do the talking, though, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's 4-0 after losses. In those 4 wins, he's given up a combined 6 goals. And, again, didn't have to stand on his head tonight. But he was a difference maker when the Sabres were pushing, especially in that second period.
He's such a unique goaltender and unique personality, because sometimes you see him go out of the net. It can be a little bit of an adventure. And even with the way the scrums transpire sometimes, some goalies want to get right out of it. They want nothing to do with it. He's right in the battle. He's fiery and he's competitive. And that helps a guy like Jakub Dobes when, the team needs a spark coming into this game. They had that with the way they played, but the goaltender is locked locked in, and that is something that we have been accustomed to for a few months now for Jakub Dobes. And the way this game shook out, Montreal had the puck a lot. The Buffalo Sabres did not get a chance to wear down Jakub Dobes. It wasn't like he was spending 2 minutes of D-zone time going up and down and side to side. So the team did their job, he did his job, and chances are, usually, that is the recipe for a win in this game, too, especially.
What's really impressed me with Dobes, not just through this playoffs, but throughout the whole season, if you watch him from the start of the season, he got hot. And then he got his first loss, and he got really emotional after that first loss. And in the playoffs, your emotions can range from very high to very low, especially against a series against the Tampa Bay Lightning, where he went 7 games. What I loved is you saw the maturity in his emotions. He didn't let the emotions get too high, too low. He didn't let bad games phase him. He didn't let bad goals phase him. He could have done that in game 1. Instead, look at the way he's responded. So what I really enjoyed watching, not just the great play that he's provided as a rookie, but the maturity that you've seen in his game right from the start of the season.
And off ice, they're giving him the full experience, too. I mean, you're talking about, again, a rookie goaltender in the heat of the moment, round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Obviously, he has to be the best player on the ice, or one of the best players on the ice for the Canadiens, and they roll him out post-game no matter what. Yeah. And he stands in there, and he answers all of the questions. Yeah. I mean, this is stuff that is going to just round out his game on and off the ice moving forward.
It's interesting, through 2 games, we've seen both sides really capitalize on their opportunities. Obviously, in Game 2, it was the Canadiens doing it. And the narrative after Game 1 was Montreal's miscues leading to, a lot of chances for Buffalo. You flip that script, and it was a tough night, especially for Buffalo's top line.
Yeah, and all the talk coming in was Montreal needed more from their top line guys because, Buffalo's top line players showed up in Game 1. Well, it was a comedy of mistakes from the Buffalo's players that played on the top line that really allowed Montreal to take over the game. This is early in the game. Peyton Krebs, he blows a tire, turns the puck over, and I love how Montreal goes right on the attack right away, gets the big early first goal. Then late in the period, Tage Thompson at the end of the shift, trying to do a little bit too much. Great job by Carrier. He goes full Alexander Ovechkin, bar down and in off the off wing. 2 goals by defensemen for the Montreal Canadiens. A stellar effort defensively. And again, this is a game where Montreal's best players showed up, even though it wasn't on the score sheet.
It's interesting with both of these teams because in Game 1, Montreal made the mistakes, Buffalo capitalizes. Game 2, Buffalo makes the mistake, and the Habs capitalize. What happens when both of these teams go head-to-head and no one's making the mistakes? Does it turn into a chess match? Is it high-flying? It's probably not going to be high-flying because if there's no mistakes being made, there's not going to be these crazy rush chances again. It almost feels like with both these teams, they're mirror images of each other. Right. And right now, through 2 games, one team has made the vast majority of mistakes in each game.
And they're getting production, near the bottom of their lineup. It's a tough night for the top line. It's yet another good night for Zach Benson.
I mean, we keep talking about this young guy because he deserves it. You know that when he's on the ice, he's going down swinging. And sometimes that's making a creative offensive play. Sometimes that's trying to get under the skin of the opponent. And more often than not, he's in that agitating role. And we saw that here in front of Jakub Dobes. Sure, he gets mixed up. Look at Matheson, grinding Zach Benson's head down towards the ice. And he oversells it a little bit, like, oh, geez, something hurt my head, hit the ice, all of that stuff. But the battle continues as the period wears on. That's 1 versus 2 Montreal defenders trying to get out. He sees an opening, he goes to the post, and he's there, he's square, he makes sure he's got his stick on the ice and scores a pretty big goal. And he's not leaving that celebration without giving Jakub Dobes an earful on his way by. So he brings a little bit of everything, which is incredible when you look at that young guy's birth certificate.
And if, Buffalo, again, hasn't been in the playoffs, the last couple of years, last 15 years, they win the Atlantic Division this year, and I think it's a lot of new for people, right? Who are the players on the Buffalo Sabres? This is how you make a name for yourself in the playoffs if you're Zach Benson. Sure. You go out and you play like that, you score goals like that, you get into scrums like that, now you start getting people's attention, and you can see he's embracing it. He loves it. And we love to watch it.
Pretty good from a guy who hasn't hit his 21st birthday.
No. Yeah, that too.
Our reaction continues from Buffalo, including from the Sabres head coach, as Lindy Ruff is new on the scene.
As you looked at that game, what were the basic problems you felt your team had?
Well, I thought our puck play was, we talked about things we needed to do better. I thought our puck play in Game 1 wasn't good enough.
I thought you look at the first goal against, we have the puck. It looked a lot like the goal we had that we scored against Montreal. We could have moved the puck to our defenseman, got going up ice. We hung on to it. We fell down. We had, I think, 3 or 4 of the goals were just the result of bad puck play. You can't beat yourself. We beat ourselves, and we know we have to be better. That's what we said after game 1. It's my job to make sure we get our minds in the right place, and I think we could have made a big difference on 4 of the goals at least.
Tage Thompson's head is at after.
Yeah, I think he got frustrated. I think he was really trying to press, and I think sometimes when you're pressing, it didn't get any better tonight for him, for sure. We're all in this together. It's not about one guy. He knows he needs to be better. We have a lot of guys that know that their game has to be better. We're at 1-1 right now. We're pretty well in the same place we were last series, and I said before game 1, this is going to be a very difficult series. They just beat a heck of a team. We need to handle the puck better and put it in the right spot at the right time.
Meanwhile, at the other end of things, let's hear from the Canadiens head coach Martin St. Louis.
Martin, sometimes we see after you lose game 1, the series gets away from a team because it just becomes too much to handle. Even when you compare it to last year versus Washington, was there a greater sense of maybe maturity, and this is a sign of that with your team right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something we built through failure. We've learned a lot from, last year. And I think we've grown, and I feel like, even the game 1, we lose the game. The game didn't really get away from us. We were still in it. And we did things better tonight that, doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but it raises the percentage to go get success. I'm proud of the response. I'm not surprised. And, we're going to start over game 3. But, every game that's its own story. Every series that's its own story. And you just can't let events, dictate the story. You just got to keep writing. Rewrite it if you don't like it.
Marty, to your right, just stand here. You mentioned maturity this morning about why you were confident your team could come out and or put themselves in a position to win. You just mentioned that doesn't have an age. I'm wondering, when you first got hired, you said that hockey IQ can be taught, and a lot of things can be taught. When you say maturity has no age, do you think maturity can be taught, and how did this group learn maturity despite being a young team?
Yeah, I think everything can be taught. I think you can, if you really want to learn something, you work at it, you can be taught, But to me, it always starts with the individual. I think we're trying to steer them in the right direction. I think we're a group that stays in control, and that's maturity, So sometimes you get challenged. You get challenged emotionally, and how do the maturity part is important. And, we have different opportunities to grow from these challenges, and we've done that, So I think it's part of our growth, our process. Maturity is a big part of it.
Marty, just down here by Star Harbor, your goaltender, some goalies, they stay completely out of everything. They skate to the corner when stuff happens. Jakub's not that guy. He trips guys. He's in the middle of things sometimes. What allows him to be successful and still be sort of so involved in the game at times?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see everything. But for me, he's a competitor. That's all he's doing. He's competing out there, but I feel like he's doing that and just being himself. I don't overthink it. Let him be.
We'll take 3 more.
Let it be.
He's not overselling that, and I think that's a good position for Marty St. Louis to take, especially with Dobes, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're 2 games in round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's coming off a very, very good game, but, you know, just pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see how the series evolves.
If the Canadiens don't win tonight, he's probably asked about Cole Caulfield for the 100th time so far in the playoffs because he doesn't score, has a glorious chance in the third period, but are you glass half full that they're winning these games without his production, or glass half empty that eventually is going to catch up to Montreal?
No, glass half full because they're winning games without his production, and at some point he's just too good of a goal scorer. Guy scored 51 goals this season. He is going to produce. But coming into this game, it looked to me that Cole Caulfield was playing how do I get my shot off instead of playing hockey. And in this game, it looked like he was playing to play the game a little bit more, not just trying to find pockets of ice or little spaces where he could get a shot off where he becomes easily marked. In this game, he was following up the play. He was being in positions of support, and he started to get a few more looks at the net. There's still a little bit of this bobbling the puck and, free puck situations where he's not finding ways to execute. He gets 2 shots on goal in this game and then is going to hit the crossbar, but you start to get the sense that you can feel it. It's coming for him. And late in the third period, the Montreal Canadiens get a power play, and you start to think it might not be a consequential goal in the game, but it would be a hugely consequential goal for Cole Caulfield. Doesn't get it, ends up ringing the crossbar, but at some point, a guy like this is going to find a way to break through, especially when he's getting those looks at the net.
As we analyze this series so far, and it's still early, I think what Marty just said, every game is its own story. It kind of sums it up, where both teams have won in similar fashion. Does the edge maybe go to Montreal because they get the split on the road and they're going home with home ice?
Well, that's always the feeling as the road team to start the series. As you're going in, you're looking for a split because you know you're going home ice, and now you've regained it. Ben, Montreal hasn't had great success in the playoffs at home so far this season. They probably want to change that, and it's a good momentum boost for him. I talked about momentum not being a thing in the playoffs, but for Montreal, you got to feel really good about how you played tonight, considering all the negative stuff people were saying with you after game 1. And now in that Bell Center, you talked about it, Dregs. It was deafening in Buffalo. It's going to be electric in Montreal.
The pressure on both of these teams in this series is to execute with the puck. That's what it's going to come down to. And yes, sometimes there's going to be other things at play, but this series feels less about the tactics or the gamesmanship. It feels more about who's going to be able to make plays with the puck on their stick at the right time and not cough it up. And there's pressure involved in that. And for Montreal, they're going back home. The fans are going to be crazy. It's going to be loud. Is it going to be jumpy with the puck on your stick? Or can you be overwhelming for the Buffalo Sabres and they feel like they're in a daze playing at the Bell Center? That's what you look forward to for next game.
And I feel like they've got to bring that in a level of execution on home ice, because there is a trend that's been established for the Montreal Canadiens to this point through 9 games of the postseason. You win one, you lose one. You win one, you lose one. And that works well in a 7-game series, but they lost the first one, they get the split. So if they can break that trend and win on home ice on Sunday, maybe they've got something to work with.
Just like in the first round, they earned the split on the road. They head to the Bell Center for Game 3, where they now have home ice as they earn their first playoff win over the Sabres since their Stanley Cup run back in 1993.